With our Meet the Candidates event, we are live at Rep Express this morning. The breakfast is out. People are milling around, talking to the candidates, having free breakfast courtesy of Rep Express. And, of course, when you come in this morning, we want you to register to win those tickets. We've got 3 tickets to tomorrow's East Carolina game and a parking pass, courtesy of Ann's Dumplings, that will be given away at the end of the show this morning. Rick Croskery joins us now. We're going to focus on District 5. Dr. Rick Croskery is a newcomer to politics. Not a newcomer to Greenville. He is running for the District 5 seat that is being vacated by the current councilman, Max Joyner. And Dr. Croskery is here with us this morning. Good morning, Rick. How are you?
Thank you, Henry.
Good to see you. It's a lot of people are interested in this race because it's an open seat. 2 newcomers to politics, you and Michael Overton. Let's talk. We're going to talk to Michael next. Let's talk about you. Why politics? Why now? Tell us about yourself and why you decided you wanted to run for city council.
Well, first I want to go ahead and give a disclaimer that I thought about before I came here. When you go to the polls, you're going to see that my name is Richard W. Croskery because I'm so new to politics, I didn't know that when you register, the name they put in is what they put on the ballot. And, of course, all my advertising stuff says Rick. That's what people call me. But at any rate, I've been in this I've lived in Greenville 32 years. I've lived in my district for 28 years in a couple of different major neighborhoods there. I've been involved with community activities for almost all of that time. I'm an internist at Physicians East, and I've been taking care of patients here for over 30 years and have been involved with our community in a lot of ways, including with the Chamber of Commerce, like you, and I've been the chairman of that. I've been involved with the Rotary Club and United Way. So I feel like I have a pretty good as we physicians would say, I've got a pretty good finger on the pulse of this community and its people.
Why have you decided to run for city council? What are your issues? What is it that you bring to the table and you want to either change or embellish?
Well, I love the community. I do certainly want to see it progress. Both of my kids have grown up here. I would certainly like to see our uptown area continue to improve and flourish, and our parks to continue, including the town common area. I would like to see our development in the city be controlled so that we have the proper buffers of natural areas, and that we fill in the developments that we have started before we continue to go further on. I feel like when I'm in traffic in long lines every morning going across town, taking 2 and 3 times as long as it used to a few years ago, I feel like our traffic management needs to be looked at carefully. There are a number of things that I feel like I could be helpful, but I guess the other part of the spin is it's been many, many years since somebody with a medical background has been on our council, and I feel like I could be helpful with that since this is a very strongly medical community.
I live in your district, so I'm getting your mailers, and I noticed that one of the things that you are touting as part of your campaign is that you're going to represent the district, the people that live in the district, their interest, and not special interest.
That's correct.
Is that an indication that you think your opponent might represent special interest?
No, I think it's an indication that people want to know that their interests are represented. And of course, this is an open seat, and my opponent filed after I did. I was already formulating my plans of what I wanted to do. So no, I don't think that's, we're not running against each other. I'm running to promote what I'd like to do for this community. But I do want to listen to the people in the district as well as throughout the city. I mean, I think when you represent a district on a council this small, you're certainly beholden to your constituents, but also you have to always try and do what's right for the city as a whole.
What do you see as the major issues that will come up over the next couple of years in Greenville that you think you can be an asset for?
Well, certainly I mentioned traffic management. Crime and safety concerns always seem to come to the top of the list when they do candidate surveys. Everybody wants to say they want safety in the community, and I think focusing both our city and our county law enforcement agencies together with the other municipalities in Pitt County to work against gangs is a very important thing to do. I also mentioned traffic safety, and that includes pedestrian safety. We have started a sidewalk plan around that I think is good, and I still see, you know, young families with baby strollers walking along busy streets, and there's no place for them to walk, and I'm worried to death they're going to get run over by our NASCAR traffic out here. But we have done many good public and as well as private building projects, particularly in the uptown area over the last 15 to 20 years, and naturally I'd like to see that continue as well.
Rick Croskery, Dr. Rick Croskery, one of the challengers, one of the candidates. There is no challenger. This is an open seat, District 5. And as we move forward, you know, we've talked a lot about development. We've talked a lot about growth in Greenville. We talked about that in the last segment. What is your vision in terms of the proper balance between growth, economic development, and preserving neighborhoods?
Well, first of all, I think you work hard on your urban center. That's where the highest density of high property value property is. That's where you get a large part of your tax base. You make it beautiful, you make it dense, you make it bustling, you make it vibrant, and you make it be a servant tax base to the rest of the community. And then as you develop your neighborhoods, of course, you look at the infrastructure, working together with the city, the county, and the utilities as you develop the city. I mean, there's no way it's not going to develop. It's grown 30% by population every census since I've been here the last 30 years or so, and I assume it will continue with that. So we will get bigger. We just have to continue to plan together to do that properly for our neighborhoods.
We've got about 45 seconds, a minute left here. Tell the District 5 voters why you're the best choice out of the three candidates in District 5.
Thank you. I would say that I have a long history of public service in this community. I've been involved in a lot of different kinds of public service, and I've been involved in it deeply. I've raised a family here. Both of my kids went through the public schools, are in graduate school here now, so I'm committed to this community and I want to stay here a long time. I've talked to thousands and thousands of our citizens in my job as a physician, and I kind of know this community and I want to continue to see it prosper.
Richard Croskery, right?
Thank you, Henry.
Right. Thank you, Rick. Nice to see you.
Good to see you, my friend.
And folks, you can give him a hand, District 5. And we'll bring in Michael Overton now. And I'm looking around, Jennifer Little, if you can help me spot Mr. Woodley. He's on next. I don't know if he's here yet. Perhaps he'll be joining us here in a second. Continuing on with our Meet the Candidates event, we are live at Rep Express here this morning. Come on out and join us. And now next, the other candidate, one of the other three candidates in District 5, Michael Overton, who has joined us here. Michael, good to see you this morning.
Good morning, Henry. Good to be here.
Thank you for coming out and being a part of this. Tell folks about yourself. Give us your background and why you decided you were going to run.
Well, again, my name is Michael Overton. I am a lifelong resident of Greenville. Outside of a few years, I lived in Little Washington, but my family has been in the Greenville area for about 70-plus years. Been in business here and lived here and raised families here. So you know, why I got into this race is because I love Greenville and I want to see it grow. I want to see it prosper. I want to see it prosper the right way, and I feel I've got the ability and the experience to be able to do that. I've got a wife of celebrated 10-year anniversary this year and a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old little girls. So I've got kind of a crazy household sometimes, but I couldn't ask to be blessed anymore.
Same question that I asked Rick to kind of get this going a little bit. What are the biggest issues facing the community, and what do you bring to the table to help with those over the next few years? Well,
from talking to the people that I've spoken with in our district, our biggest concern is jobs and economic development by far. And if I go back and look at my experience in business, and my grandfather, my father both started businesses here from very humble means and were able to build something. And I tell people, although I got a business degree from East Carolina University, I learned business from a very young age, basically from the womb, and have had the opportunity to learn from what I consider two of the best businessmen and taking something and building something from nothing. And I feel with that experience and with my varied experience since we sold our company back in 2003, I've got the ability to take things that are underperforming and make them into something. And I feel strongly with my degrees in marketing, my background is really in retail and marketing, but I feel strongly that we've got to have a product in Greenville. We're every day we're selling to our citizens. What are we offering them? Are they happy here? We're also selling our city to people who are looking to come here. And what are we offering that isn't really equal with other communities, but is better than other communities to bring them to this area, to want them to live, work, play, and invest in this area?
Crime has been an issue. The most publicized, maybe most public crime that we saw happen in District 5 this year in the Walmart event. What's your view of crime in Greenville? You know, we recently had this discussion on my show. We had people from outside Greenville sense that Greenville has a larger than normal crime problem. Do you think that's the case? And what's going on with crime in Greenville?
No, honestly, I don't think it's the case. I think if you look at Greenville, big university town, we've got 2 TV stations, a paper here, we've got a university here, a large hospital here, and I believe that many eyes are on Greenville. So I do believe that there are, in many cases, perception issues. That's not to say we don't have a problem. We do. I think we've got a very strong police chief in Chief Hayden. I believe it's our job to support him and his needs to take care of the issues from the top down. But if you look at, we spoke at the stump meeting the other night about, I'm trying to think what I was going to say. We spoke about the uptown area, and if you look at uptown, a lot of people perceive uptown Greenville as being a very dangerous place, and the reality is it's frankly, before 10 p.m., one of the safest places in the city. So I do think that it is a perception issue, but I also believe as a community, our job is to get involved with the citizens and work to change the behavior from the inside out. Because if you look at Greenville, number 2 in the nation for fatherless households, I do know that that has a direct correlation on crime. And so that's a frightening statistic, one we cannot be proud of, but we have a responsibility to work with the citizens and encouraging them to train in jobs training through, we have an incredible community college, the Pitt Community College, and to move our city forward that way.
Greenville is an interesting community because we have a town and gown situation here where you have university, which is one of the economic engines. You have a huge medical community, and you have a lot of small businesses here. You're a business guy, and this question of special interest is something that is kind of underlying in this campaign. Some of the candidates have used that as a campaign tool. Your candidate is using it as a campaign tool. Speak to that. As a business person, are you going to be beholden to anyone if you become elected? Do you have any people that are backing you that are creating a special interest that you're going to have to pay them back or something once you become elected, if you do?
Well, based on my experience over the last couple of months, this is not a job where I can see making a profit. This is taking a lot of time. It's taking away from my ability. I'm in commercial real estate, and I live on commission. So I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for the residents of Greenville to try to grow Greenville. I'm doing this for my kids. I'm 5 and 4 years old. I want them to call Greenville home in 20 years. This is where I want other people to call home and to feel excited about the town that we have. I'm very fortunate in my race to have 2 gentlemen to run with, and we've been very respectful and have a lot of respect for one another. Probably one of the only races in the city to do that. So I'm just speaking about my experience, what I can bring. No, I'm not bowing to any special interest. I want Greenville to move forward, and I'm passionate about that.
All right, give us a little more. Tell the people in District 5 why you are the best candidate for them to choose in the election. Early voting going on now and up through Tuesday, November 5th.
Yep, early voting started yesterday, and we need everyone to get out and vote. And I'm asking for everyone's support. With my background and experience, I've had the opportunity to operate many businesses. At one point, running a $70 million company with 500 employees, with a $70 million budget, which ironically is only $5 million less than the city of Greenville. I've had opportunities to work in other industries, and I've had the opportunity to build those industries and to take something and make it something. And I know that I have that ability to do that for Greenville. I can bring a passion for Greenville and bring the time. I tell people that not only do I live in District 5, I work in District 5. So I'm on these streets every day understanding what the issues are and the challenges are, but I also understand it's not just about District 5. It's about the city as a whole, and our job is to support the city and grow the city, move the city forward.
All right, Michael Overton, everybody. Thank you very much. And I think just as we finished with Michael there, we have Mr. Woodley has joined us here. We are live at Rep Express Catering here in Greenville on Red Banks Road, and we invite you to come out this morning. There is a good crowd of folks out here already. Crowd is building. Rochelle and Brian Brown have a great breakfast, and I understand the food is great, and I understand it's free, so that makes it even better. So thanks to Rochelle and Brian, and when you come in, we want you to register to win the tickets. We have tickets at the front door, courtesy of Ann's Dumplings, and they are tickets for tomorrow's game between East Carolina and Southern Miss. And I'm sorry that we just got move on in a little bit, if you would, Mr. Woodley. We are happy to have J.C. Woodley, the third candidate in District 5. And I'm sorry for you to walk in the door and jump on, but it's your time, so let's bring you in. You are the third candidate in District 5. Tell us a little bit about yourself, sir, and why you've decided to run for City Council.
Good morning. My name is James Woodley, and my friends call me JC, so you can call me JC. I was born and raised in North Carolina, about an hour, 15 minutes northeast of here. I was educated at UNC Chapel Hill. I got a degree in zoology and a master's from Old Dominion in biology. I retired from the Environmental Protection Agency as a water quality environmental biologist. And while I was there, I worked with a number of stakeholders and had to build consensus among those diverse stakeholders. They included Congress at times, included other federal agencies, included state and local governments. It included profit and nonprofit organizations, and it included John Doe the citizen. The skills that I bring to the council is that I am a consensus builder. Just that list of diverse entities is tough to deal with, especially when you're regulating something. I pride myself on building capacity within the constituents or the stakeholders, so that will make my work a lot easier. If people understand what it is that we're doing and what the cost is to them and the benefit to them, then they will be more engaged. And I'm a strategic planner, I'm a strategic thinker, and that is part of what I do. I work with Pitt County on Animal Control Advisory Board on animal care issues, and we just completed a strategic plan that I'm very proud of it. And then the last thing is, it's so important for me, and I think for anyone in the political arena, to be a good listener, to hear what the constituents are saying, hear what the other stakeholders are saying, hear what the partners are saying, and then try to build that into the project that you're working on. So those are the things that I've done.
All right, very good. Well, it's nice to get to know you, and we appreciate your willingness to run. Let's talk about some of the issues in Greenville. Is there any one specific issue that has kind of motivated you to get into this race?
Well, I believe in smart growth. Greenville is a city that's growing tremendously. I've been here 5 years, and the growth has been very obvious. And I want to ensure, and I'm not saying that it's not being done, but I want to ensure that there is smart growth principles that are being put into the process, that we are looking at economic development and we're drawing the right kinds of industry and jobs, that the quality of life for the people that live here, the people that may go to school here, the people that may work here, may not be negatively impacted by that. And then as the development proceeds, that historical preservation is maintained, that people with some age or some history here want to see things somewhat similar to what they grew up with.
Is that an indication that you think Greenville has not grown well, that we've got some economic development projects that shouldn't be there?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I am new to the election process and to the council. What I'm saying is that there is a voice out there that includes the elderly. There's a voice out there that includes people with disabilities. There is a voice out there that care about animal control and animal care in the county as well as in the city. And there's a voice out there that cares about the population that may not be looked at, the homeless, the people that may live in a tent somewhere. I know that those issues are not being adequately addressed. And I don't know if the council can get to those issues, but they're passionate to me.
Okay. Again, J.C. Woodley, District 5 candidate, our guest here at Rep Express at our Meet the Candidates event this morning. What do you see as the most pressing issues for the City Council to address coming up in the next 2 years?
I think all council members would those elected and those incumbent, would press for economic development, and I believe that. And I believe that the jobs that we should look for or that we should attract are jobs that people can work at and not rely on public assistance to get them through. Jobs that actually move them above the poverty level. I personally would like to see the expansion of public transportation out into District 5 so that it makes sense for me to ride the bus. I'm from Washington, D.C. I don't really like driving. I want to ride the bus sometimes, but the bus does not stop in commercially viable places. It just doesn't. And then the sidewalks, they're good when they're there. There are sidewalks that seem to be just ad hoc placed in places, and I don't understand that, but I would like contiguous sidewalks that actually join so that I could ride my bike a little further. And then the last thing is that I'm very concerned about, I lost my train of thought. The reduction in crime. I believe that, crime is happening all over the city, and I have a plan that I haven't got it funded yet, but there are issues that can be addressed with this plan and with my ideas associated with the reduction of crime and the recidivism of people that go into jail and prisons.
Well, it may be too long to go into at length, but we've got a couple of minutes left. Can you give us more information about what your thoughts are on crime? Because we asked Michael this question. Crime has been a hot topic, obviously, in Greenville for a long time, and we did have a huge crime, the most publicized crime of the city with the Walmart shootings. Can you outline some of that in a minute or not?
I think I can do a little bit of that.
Okay.
Where I see the crime being a real problem is I come from a black culture, obviously, and I know the hopelessness and the helplessness that one feels when there seem to not be opportunities to overcome bad decisions, mistakes. You're labeled, you have no choice anymore to survive. And what my plan would include is actually going to the root of some of the problems, and that's in the home and with the fathers. We need fathers to actually groom their kids into being decision makers and not reactionary kind of people, and that they strategically plan their lives and not just go with the flow and follow their peers. I want to be able to incorporate a program where even a young man, maybe even a teenager, will have a dream that is feasible and that can be gotten.
All right, Mr. J.C. Woodley. Mr. Woodley, we got a minute left. Please tell the voters in District 5 why you're the best choice of the three candidates.
Okay. This city was built around people, not necessarily buildings and streets, but people. People that live here a long time and people that come here just to work or to go to school. And as the city continues to grow, we need to take care of those people and make sure that their home, their neighborhoods are safe, and that the jobs that they're looking for are there, and that the animals that may be a part of their family can be well taken care of, and that they can go out to the Tar River front and still see a pristine habitat and enjoy that, as well as see development that comes in and gives them other entertainment. You should vote for me for the voice that's unheard, the one that may be elderly, the one that may be disabled, the one that may be feeling hopeless. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. J.C. Woodley. Thank you, Mr. Woodley. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to get a break in. We're going to come back and reset our Meet the Candidates event live at Rep Express. The breakfast is out. It's free. Come on by Rep Express right now. Register to win the tickets from Ann's Dumplings for tomorrow's game. When we return in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be focusing on the District 4 race, the at-large race and the mayor's race. So stay with us, and we'll be right back.